"2018 is shaping up to be a very exciting year for the Wi-Fi industry. We're hitting an important milestone with 20 billion cumulative device shipments, a huge number, and Qualcomm, of course, has been a key player in achieving that. Maybe we could start off with a little bit of perspective on what Wi-Fi does for you today.
Wi-Fi is an essential component to many lives today around the world. The fact that I have been in the Wi-Fi industry for about 15 years, and I've seen the Wi-Fi industry grow from me being personally heavily dependent on Wi-Fi to now my kids' homework not getting done if Wi-Fi is not there. The communication with my mom is not as frequent if he doesn't have Wi-Fi available. Is talking to the importance of Wi-Fi, the safety of homes, the livelihood, the entertainment in homes, all depend on Wi-Fi to a point where, the phone, the smartphone that we all know of as being a major cellular device, 90% of the traffic in the smartphone is over Wi-Fi. You can see the importance of Wi-Fi is just phenomenal. I don't expect any of that to slow down. You referred to 20 billion devices. We expect this year, 2018, anywhere from 3.5 to 4 billion new Wi-Fi radios shipping. So you can see the adoption, the acceptance of Wi-Fi as the networking protocol and technology is growing faster than any other technology has in the past, and I don't believe there is any on the horizon that can displace Wi-Fi. Very important. Wi-Fi is not only to lives but to the entire world, and making the world a world without boundaries on a going forward basis.
Wi-Fi is an incredibly pervasive technology. In fact, in 2018, there's going to be about 9.5 billion Wi-Fi devices still in active use. So that's more than one Wi-Fi device for every man, woman, and child on the planet. Well, I don't think any of us want to think about this. What would life be like if you didn't have Wi-Fi?
It would be an interesting world. It would be a world that would be one that was probably about 20 years back in time. And I think that would be an interesting world. I believe the biggest benefit Wi-Fi has brought to people's lives is productivity. The productivity and the scale at which Wi-Fi is improving productivity. Not only improving productivity, but the scale at which Wi-Fi is bringing the productivity dimension to further improvement is just phenomenal. In an average home, I anticipate, you indicated there's more than one Wi-Fi device per person. In developed nations, I anticipate in a year or two there will be 15 to 20 Wi-Fi devices per home. Wow. If you anticipate a family of 4 being an average size family, you're looking at 5 devices per person. So if the world is going to be 6 to 7 billion people and 5 devices, you're looking at that number hitting 30, 35 billion devices very quickly. I anticipate Wi-Fi to bring not only productivity but security, the ease of life, the ease of connectivity, and the ease of doing everything that we do in our lives to newer levels of elevation. It is getting to a world where Wi-Fi is no different than electricity, oxygen, and water that comes into your home on a going forward basis, in my opinion.
What do you feel the biggest impact Wi-Fi has on the industry itself?
Well, I think new industries have emerged. The traditional industries have graduated to a level where a lot more can be done for very little in terms of the spend. I'll take a simple example of an appliance. Your washer dryer or air conditioner at a home now can be pre-diagnosed with issues before it breaks. Just imagine what it does to the warranties as a result to the manufacturer. The cost of warranties come down. Obviously the ease of use dimension is tremendous as well. Now you can control any and every device potentially from anywhere in the home or anywhere in the world because it's on the network, on the Wi-Fi network in the home, which is connected to your broadband and to the cloud. So a new level of user experience comes to the forefront. The new level of security comes to the forefront. The new level of connectivity and the meaning of networking being less of IT, technology and paradigm to more of a consumer-oriented product category, an appliance category is what Wi-Fi is. Without Wi-Fi, those devices are going to be less valuable to the consumer. And so if you are one of those appliance makers and you're not thinking of putting Wi-Fi in your product, you need to think twice.
As a leader in the connectivity space, how does Qualcomm view that connectivity will change in 2018 and beyond?
Well, I think we need to make the home networks a lot more easy to deploy. It's beyond now the early adopters. It's beyond the service providers bringing the home networking on Wi-Fi. It's an appliance. You go into the store, you pick up a box, and you just plug it in and it works. It creates a blanket of wireless networking in your home. That is what we anticipate Wi-Fi networks to be on a going forward basis in the home. I expect my mom, for example, not to make or not to be burdened with the decision making of whether she's on a cellular network or a Wi-Fi network or a BLE network. The network needs to operate independent of burdening the consumer with the decision making of what radio technology they are going to be on. And I anticipate a lot more happening on those dimensions. I also anticipate the consumer interaction with the networks being a lot more voice driven. Voice becoming a mainstay and an essential stay in the platforms. You could be talking to your networks, and funnily, the networks will be talking back to you. And as a result, consumers like my mom are going to have a much easier time and not trying to be an IT manager, being a consumer themselves as they have always been, and enjoying the experience of the Wi-Fi network. I expect service providers to take a bigger play in how they deploy Wi-Fi. As you can see in North America, many of the broadband suppliers talk less about the broadband technology coming to your home, the speeds it feeds, more about the quality of Wi-Fi they're going to deploy in your homes. And so that effectively speaks to the importance of Wi-Fi to sell broadband services to the end consumer. And so I expect a lot more importance given to Wi-Fi and the quality of Wi-Fi and how the network is going to be deployed in the home, even from the service provider and operator side of the segments. Talking about technologies, I expect Wi-Fi to evolve to newer protocols. We'll see 11AX, early rollouts of 11AX. While I would think it would be very valuable for the industry to go through the Wi-Fi Alliance certification process and make sure we deliver an interoperable product to the marketplace, which it looks like happening in 2019. I also expect the newer Wi-Fi Alliance adopted frequency spectrum, which is 60 gigahertz, seeing a lot more product delivery in 2018, be it in the smartphone, be it in the routers, be it in mesh of networks basically. So I expect a lot more happening in 2018, not only adoption of Wi-Fi, but evolution of Wi-Fi.
Obviously, IoT and connected home is a huge theme at CES and has been for a number of years. Maybe you could tell me about some announcements that Qualcomm is doing in this space.
Okay, Kevin, let's start with, let me ask you a simple question. What do you think this is?
So I'm going to guess a wireless speaker. Given some of the trends, I would guess there's a digital assistant in there. What else?
You're almost right. One big important thing that this is, it's a Wi-Fi mesh node as well. So it's a kind of a repeater function that will integrate into the network of Wi-Fi at home. So it looks like a wireless speaker. It's got the ability to interact through voice assistance, and obviously it's got a speaker in there, like you predicted. But it is also a Wi-Fi node. Qualcomm, working with ASUS, announced at the show the new lineup from ASUS, which is called the Lyra product line, which is a mesh networking platform built on top of Qualcomm mesh networking product line. And they announced this as one of the nodes that is going to be in the mesh networking portfolio. It looks like a speaker, you can talk to it, it's a voice assistant enabled speaker, but this is the trend that we see. Over here, you will see a bunch of products that are mesh networking products, and about any and every networking OEM you can think of for the home has launched mesh networking in the United States, in Europe, and other parts of the world. And we anticipate the new direction is going to be, you're going to have integrated consumer appliance products as part of being a mesh node.
What do you view as probably one of the most important segments for Wi-Fi?
Well, I think going forward, what I believe is, the dimensions of compute, security, and connectivity are going to be essential components to what we now call as the world of AI and machine learning. Your compute definitely is absolutely a need. You have to create an secured environment to kind of transport all these data points that you're going to collect basically analytics. But the importance of connectivity is just paramount. You want latency-free or latency unnoticeable connectivity, and as a result, Wi-Fi through all three frequency bands, 2.4, 5, and 60 gigahertz, plays a huge role on a going forward basis in terms of delivering that experience of machine learning and connectivity to and back from the cloud into the consumer. And I expect a lot more happening on those dimensions where performances are going to get optimized, newer frequency bands will be introduced in Wi-Fi. We expect potentially a newer frequency band extension of Wi-Fi in the coming years from 5 gigahertz to 6 gigahertz, because the appetite for Wi-Fi is not satisfied just yet. We got a lot more to go, and I'm very excited about the potential Wi-Fi has on the horizon.
Absolutely. I mean, Wi-Fi, as I'm sure you know, moves more than half of all internet traffic. And that additional spectrum that the industry is now pursuing is going to be absolutely critical.
Yeah, it is. And I think we are a big supporter, proponent, and we are engaged ourselves with various regulatory bodies around the world to kind of create that value for extension of newer frequency bands for Wi-Fi.